Dhiresh, it has been 7 months since our last interview. I'm guessing quite a bit has happened since then. So, what is there to update on? Let's get straight into it.
Most definitely. 7 months is a very long time in the real world. And as from your side as well, you could see, I think my first interview was under 10, maybe it was a seventh or so interview.
Yeah.
And now we're pushing 200 plus. So it's amazing how much stuff can get done in the space of a few months.
Yeah. Okay, so I remember from your end, at the time that we did the call, quite a significant part of it was your mother was going through treatment and you had gone into debt to pay for that treatment, but ended up not working out. I remember that was your situation back then. So, how have things evolved in those 7 months?
Yeah, that's true, and an unfortunate part of my story. Yeah, my mom was diagnosed with cancer maybe about 5 years before she passed away. Unfortunately, she passed away in 2020, and as you mentioned, a whole bunch of financial debt, medical debt, and other stuff that came along with. Also, I needed to pay off my dad's property and sort of help him out with moving the state and transferring stuff. So it's been a very difficult time. But sometimes in hardships comes some positivity. And through these hardships, I sort of came into the real world. At the time, it was called Hustlers University. I met many of the professors, many of the other captains, many of the other apprentices. And I guess it was meant to be because as time went on, I managed to deal with financial issues. I managed to pay off debt. I managed to help my family where I could. And I guess if it wasn't me in that situation, my family wouldn't have been able to make it out. So sometimes you take the curses with the blessings, and it all works out in the end if you keep working hard, and your intentions are always pure. I believe.
Okay. So, quite a bit to dig into there because the answer was fairly surface level. So, let's go with in terms of income, how have things scaled for you or how did they differ in those 7 months?
Okay. In terms of my normal job, so my normal job is a civil engineering job that I do, which is unrelated to the real world, and that's been pretty much stagnant. I'd be honest with you. I put that on the back burner a bit to focus on my external sort of businesses and external income sources and trying to help people and trying to teach as much as possible. Um, but in terms of income that's based on the real world, those have been sort of immeasurable and uncountable. To be honest with you, I'm actually at the point where making money in the real world is sort of a secondary objective of mine. Uh, Ever since being sort of elevated to the role of captain in the crypto campus, um, I've gotten a second wind in life where I feel like I actually have the potential to change people's lives. I have the potential to help people make safer investments, not gamble on stupid crypto pumps and Doge coins and those kind of things. Um, I've come in leaps and bounds in terms of my development. Um, but the most important thing is I don't know where it's going to take me. So it's going to be an interesting journey to come.
Interesting. Okay. Explain a bit more about as a captain in the crypto campus.
Yeah.
How has everything evolved in 7 months? What changes have you seen?
Okay. So just speaking from the crypto campus specifically, when I first joined, it was Hustlers University back then. We had all these sort of professors and all the campuses all in one sort of Discord group. Um, it was very good information and very powerful stuff, but there were limitations because of the third party application and the way we could use the services and the congestion of having so many students in one little sort of Discord group. Since then, the real world has evolved in leaps and bounds. Now we have our own software, we have our own dev teams, we have our own professors who have their own individual standalone campuses as well. So that tying back into your question, the crypto campus used to be a single campus, which has now split into three campuses. So now we have three specific campuses with three specific professors teaching three specific skill sets. And I find that to be arguably one of the best crypto resources available to anybody at this moment in time, because you have Professor Adam who does the investing side of things, you have Professor Michael who does the trading side of things, and you have Professor Sillard who does the NFTs, DeFi, and anything in between the two other campuses. So just
Mhm.
amongst those three campuses alone, I believe that's exceptional value for money. And not only do you have one millionaire professor, you have three multi-millionaire professors, along with a whole team of specialist captains or apprentices. So you'll have a whole bunch of specific captains and apprentices that teach and assist the professors in the investing campus, and the same for the trading campus, and the same for the DeFi and NFTs. And obviously, there's some crossover between us as well. So not only are you getting specific skills from a multi-millionaire professor, you're also getting a whole team of captains who have been trained and mentored by these professors as well, who offer an extension of that education. Because as you can imagine, with 200,000 plus students, it gets a bit difficult for the professors to be able to speak to every single student and answer every single question and guide every single person to where the lessons may be or how to deal with a specific issue that they may be facing. And that's why I feel the role of the captains is immeasurable as well, because we bridge the gap between the students and the professors, and we make the life of the students generally much more pleasant as well.
All right. Okay, so about the campus split, I haven't checked the new crypto trading campus with Michael and the DeFi and NFT campus. So which one are you mainly involved in yourself?
I'm fortunate in the fact that before joining the real world and Hustles University, I'd had quite a wide range of skill sets. I was into trading, both forex and crypto before I moved full time into crypto. There was investing as well that I used to do on the side. And I also used to do a bit of DeFi and NFT as well. So I can actually switch between all three of the campuses and be relatively efficient and proficient with the message that I convey. But I specialize in the investing side with Professor Adam. And just speaking again on the three campuses, each campus on its own is by far superior than how it used to be structured when we had them all combined. So not only do you have a bit of crossover with information, you also have very specialized sort of money-making methods and skill sets that can be applied in each campus, which may not translate to the other. So you could get investment advice and investment techniques and strategies that don't necessarily what's the word that I'd want to say? Don't necessarily mesh with the investing campus, but the positive spin on that is you can have an investing portfolio, a trading portfolio, and a little portfolio for DeFi and NFTs. So we've just given the students so much more options, so much more information, so much more lessons. So each one on its own is a very powerful tool. And when you combine all three together, it could make you unstoppable in that field if you're willing to work hard and dedicate yourself to the skill set.
All right. Again, thank you for that. Now, I'd like to go a bit more into your personal side. Have you noticed a mindset shift in those 7 months?
Oh, most definitely. Most definitely. Much more confident in my speech because not only do I believe in what I'm saying and my message that I'm trying to convey, I also believe that I have the ability to impact people's lives. So whether it's a small change, whether it's a large change, I've been doing that on a daily basis with tens of students, hundreds of students, now possibly thousands of students, and it's a feeling that I can't really match. Just a side note in terms of my personal life as well. I'm in the civil engineering space, and I work with water distribution networks. So basically, also living in a third world country, I basically give people access to water that may have not had access to running water, may have been taking water out of rivers and sort of boiling those things, and living relatively bad quality of life. And even helping people in that sphere hasn't given me the same amount of joy and satisfaction as working within the real world and helping students and making a real impact in the life of young men who now have the ability to impact their friends, their family, their brothers and sisters, their parents. So it's just a knock-on effect, and hopefully I can go from strength to strength and continue helping people and making a positive impact on the world.
All right, very interesting. Okay, so you're still into crypto. Have you started any other projects, or is it still engineering and crypto mainly?
Let me think about my past. Prior to Hustlers University, I tried a few business ideas. Most of them sort of worked to an extent, but I couldn't scale them up, or I couldn't get to a point where the revenue was making sense in terms of the time that I was putting in or the amount of money that I was putting in or having to employ other people or staff and those kind of things. So starting another business may not be the goal for me at this moment in time. maybe offering services, offering educational services, or lecturing people, or maybe giving people portfolio advice. Those kind of things could be something that I do. But even with that as well, maybe for the next year, so I'm willing to hold back on me making personal money and trying to continue helping people and trying to continue spreading my skill set and teaching people as far as possible. Because I've noticed that money tends to follow you. When you have a pure heart and your intentions are pure, you get people that come to you and want to learn from you and want to work with you and want to invest with you. So I don't know exactly where I'm going to go, but it's definitely not going to be where I thought it was going to be going a few years ago. A quick small example. When I first started, I was doing a lot of crypto investing, individual stuff, reading news articles, trying to get information, trying to get leading news. But I never really took the level up and like got to like a professional investor status, or like got to the point where I could compete with hedge funds and people doing those kind of things. Now, at the moment, with the skill set that I've been learning under Professor Adam, now I'm learning how to potentially become a fund manager. I consider myself a strategy developer or a portfolio manager. So it's not just me telling people how to buy a little bit of crypto, how to save it, how to store it, how not to get scammed. Now it's much more complex stuff. Now it's like me telling you, hey guys, I can develop you a system that'll tell you how to invest, when, why, where, depending on your skill set, depending on your time, depending on your risk tolerance. So I don't even know where this could take me, but we'll see where it goes.
Mm-hmm. Interesting. Okay. And what about physicality? Have you been focused on that at all, or have you been too busy?
Oh no, that's a must. I'm relatively unfit at this point in my life. In my 30s, I'm a bit pudgy, but that's because I was paralyzed for a period in my life. I was paralyzed for like a month and a half to 2 months after a serious car accident. So I deteriorated my body and my muscle mass quite significantly during that period. The last year and a half, maybe the last 2 years, I've been dedicating myself to exercise. I just had a sports tournament yesterday. We played in a soccer tournament and dealing with some injuries and some pains. Daily at the gym, lifting weights, cardio, whatever it is. I feel that's extremely important. And any young man, old man, regardless of what you are, you will always benefit from some sort of physical activity, whether it's just taking a walk after supper, riding a bike, um, just taking a walk on the beach if you're too old to do any significant and strenuous activity. But I've noticed a lot of change personally in my body in terms of my energy levels, in terms of the clarity of thought, um, just my all-around confidence, feeling stronger, feeling more fit and more capable. Yeah, that's a very important part of moving forward within my life.
Interesting. Okay. So, in terms of your average day now, how different is it compared to 7 months ago? What else is there to say there?
Oh, that's crazy. It's not even it's night and day. It's not even comparable at all. My day starts at 2 a.m. Local time. We have a market close at that time. Then I need to sort of do some spreadsheet work, add some stuff into strategies, have some stuff automated and updating. Maybe I go back to bed around 4 a.m., catch another 2 hours sleep, wake up again, start looking at the real world messages, watching some of the live streams and stuff that I need to catch up in the mornings. Then I go to work, do my normal day job, fit in the real world here and there as far as possible, whenever I can. Come back home from work after the gym is done, after I shower and stuff. Back to the real world, back to working on strategies, back to working on the stuff that we do in the crypto campuses, and yeah, it just doesn't end. The thing that I have been lacking is a lot of sleep. I haven't been getting my 8 hours at all. I've
Mhm.
been basically battling with six hours max per day. But when you have a mission and we have a strict goal and something that you believe in, you tend to forgive sleep sometimes, and you just keep pushing through.
Interesting. So, what do you say to people who might call that excessive? Maybe there's people around you who might say, you're working so much. Why don't you give yourself a bit of time to relax?
I literally get that on a daily basis. My colleagues at work said I work too much. They said I don't come out to lunch with them. But I have to be careful with how I answer this question. I don't want to be too harsh on people, but A lot of people find solace in doing silly things like watching TV, watching Netflix, going to bed early, going out to dinner with friends, and doing stuff that's meaningless, and they never seem to come back into the serious realm of life. I think uh, one of the famous influencers calls it monk mode versus sort of degen mode. A lot of people seem to be in degen mode all the time, and they never seem to come into monk mode and get anything significantly important done. I seem to have switched completely. I feel that my entire life should be monk mode, and maybe I get a few weeks here and there, maybe a month or so per year, to degen and do silly things and enjoy myself. But you have to strike while you're young. The energy levels that I had when I was 20 is not the same as what I have now in my 30s, and I'm 100% sure it's not going to be the same when I'm in my 40s and my 50s as well. So while I have youth on my side, I need to strike while the iron is hot. I can always sleep when I'm dead, but that is far from where we are now, and we will continue to work as hard as physically possible until I collapse and can't do it anymore.
Wow. But again, if you have a purpose, as you do,
Correct.
then that's enough to drive you to that sort of point.
Yeah.
Interesting. Okay, so in those 7 months, what kind of challenges have you faced that maybe come to mind that you've overcome?
Challenges. That's a good question. First and most important challenge that has come to me, and I haven't really found a solution to this one yet. Maybe it's a good point to talk on. I'd worked very hard in the first few years of my life after leaving home at the age of 18 to become an engineer. I was self-taught, self-funded, did everything on my own, sort of had weekend jobs to pay it off. And I always believed that that was the right and the correct path in life. You do well at school, you get a good career, you qualify and you get some sort of high status employment, and you do that for the next 50 years of your life, and then you retire at a certain point and you start to enjoy your life. Obviously, as we all know at this point, that's not the best possible way. Even in a field like engineering, where it's a relatively good field to be in, it's relatively well paying, good status. I still don't see myself staying in this field permanently anymore. Um, the reasons why I joined the field was mainly for having a career that pays me well and that would be held in high regard by my peers. And at this point in time, even though I can help people and even though I do make changes, I've reached the sort of ceiling of that sphere. Maybe I can open a business, I can do some private ventures, I can do some private developments and those kind of things. But the amount of risk versus the reward, and I just don't feel the happiness in my soul going to work on a daily basis. So that's the first challenge that I've come across that I haven't yet found a solution. And I'd love to transition away from that career and maybe do it as a side job, just little small projects here and there. But I haven't been able to sort of find a replacement for that career. Prior to joining the real world and Hustle University, I was going to do something in the Web3 space, whether it be crypto, NFTs, whether it be education, whether it be offering signals or offering strategies or whatever it is. I thought that could have been a very good avenue for me as well. But then now I also find a point where there's a bit of conflict there as well, because that would be me being a direct competitor to the real world and Hustle University and the teachings of the professors. And that's not something that I want to do. I don't want to be somebody that takes away from this amazing organization. I would like to be somebody that contributes and helps and builds it up as far as possible. So I think in terms of challenges, this is the only challenge that I haven't really been able to surpass at the moment. Um, where we go with it, I don't know, but there's only positive things that can come from this.
Interesting. Okay. And there's something like learning new skills within the real world. Is that not a possibility? Maybe with the content creation and AI campus, maybe something there? Or are you just currently not having enough time to do so?
Part of the reason why I don't have any time to sleep is because I'm basically in all campuses, other than e-commerce and copywriting. I think I'm literally in every single other campus, actively following up on what's happening there, taking in the lessons. And even if I'm not using it as a business idea, I'm using the skill sets and I'm taking on that sort of that knowledge from the professors. And even in the stuff like the e-commerce and like freelancing and copywriting, I'm still going through it when I do have some time, because you can learn skills that you can apply to other businesses. for example, Professor Arno's campus has been one of my favorite campuses from the start, because he covers such a wide variety of topics, uh, issues. It's just so many different techniques that you can pull from him that you can apply in crypto or your little sales business or your freelancing job or whatever it is that you want to tackle. There's so much of cross pollination in terms of the information that you can extract, even if you aren't trying to specifically create a business or enter that niche. There's actually too much information. I struggle to keep up with the lessons that are being produced by all the different campuses and all the different professors. And now we're at the point where we also get some captains producing lessons as well. So there's too much information in the real world at the moment. There's never going to be a point where a student's going to come in and be like, "Hey, I've completed the campus. What do I do next?" There's always going to be a new lesson, a new chapter, a new topic, a new niche, a new revision of old lessons that have been updated to give us the most latest information or what of the sort. So yeah, that's another reason why I struggle to find a specific niche to tackle moving forward, because there are so many niches and so many different things that people can do. I find it surprising that people don't want to join and don't want to take a chance and at least try after seeing 200 plus testimonials from students that have actually made money or made some progress. There's just too much information. That is the problem.
Right. I mean, I heard from other people in crypto that Adam's Masterclass is like a whole university master's
Exactly.
degree.
Exactly. Uh, just the masterclass itself has so much of information and so much of alpha and so much of new research and people doing codes, and it's actually scary the amount of work that's being done in these places. And and the other part that sort of disappoints me a bit, you get a lot of students that will come into the real world and maybe they'll work hard for a day or two, and like you'll see them getting a bit complacent or getting a bit lazy, and like you know how close they are to seeing something amazing or getting that little bit of information that they needed to become somebody important or make significant amounts of money, and like you see people giving up or just losing hope, and then just a few lessons down the line or a few weeks down the line, and you could be exposed to something that'll change your life forever, and you'll never go back to the way you saw the world or you saw money or you saw investing or trading or any of these things before. Specifically, Adam's masterclass is amazing, and that's maybe 10%, 20%, 25% of what he knows. So just imagine if there's such high acclaim for the masterclass, what does he actually still know that is still yet to share with us, still yet to be able to put down into words? It's mind blowing. It's mind blowing the amount of information, and not to put down any of the other professors in the crypto campus. Let's speak on Professor Michael, who does the trading campus. In my humble opinion, I've been in crypto since 2017, 2018. I've made some money, lost some money, um, come out with probably nothing after all fees and those kind of things. But I've paid so much money for trading courses, mentorships, lessons, ebooks, all of these kind of things that you can spend money on. And to date, I have not found a more comprehensive and a more concise and a more detailed trading campus or trading boot camp as such than Professor Michael. So both from the investing side and from the trading side, and let's not forget the NFT and the DeFi side, each campus is a standalone, one of its kind, and probably better than anything else that's available on the market. That's not even counting the fact that you're getting one-on-one mentorship from either a captain or you're getting help from the professor through an audio answer, through a written answer, to him making a lesson specific to your question because he felt that that question was such an important question that needed to be answered. It's mind blowing the quality of the work. And each one of these campuses could be a $50, a $100, a $200 standalone campus per month. And I'd say it's still value for money.
Right. Easily. And speaking of
Easily.
which,
Definitely.
why do you think they only charge $50 for all the value that's provided within the real world?
I've actually had a bit of thought about this as well. And the reason I thought about it earlier was because I was sort of trying to find a way for me to make some money in terms of having some private clients that didn't want to be involved with the real world, or that maybe couldn't afford it because I live in a third world country, and sometimes once you go from a third world fiat to trying to convert to dollars, a lot of things sort of become overpriced and unreasonable for most people. So within the time of me trying to figure out what was a decent price point for my products, I also sort of thought of the price point of the real world, and I thought of all of the different services that are being offered around these sort of niches and sort of mentorship programs. And I think this is the answer. You can obviously charge somebody a high ticket price. You can obviously charge somebody a once off fee and make them have a lifetime access or whatever it is. But that doesn't really help a person that's a millionaire, that has all the money in the world, has all the cars in the world that they could ever want. Like the Tate brand and what has been created in this organization, it's not about money anymore. It's not about fame. It's not about fortune. It's not about even being the best educational platform in the world. This is a platform that changes people's lives. It's whether you are young, old, fit, unfit, have money, don't have money. We have some sort of skill set. We have some sort of option or a direction for you to follow, for you to become powerful and meaningful and earn money and become a strong, influential speaker, become fit and strong. It's not money anymore. And the price point, I actually feel that the price point is too low. Uh, but it has to be this price, or we can't affect the lives of people that are too poor to take that first sort of that first bite at the carrot. You have to incentivize somebody by giving them a good product and offering them value for money as well. And I think that the real world does that exceptionally well, where you have exceptional value for money in terms of the price point, and you have exceptional value for money in terms of the actual educational content, the community, the fitness, finance, influential speaking, AI. There's so many different things that we can learn and we can teach and we can help each other with, that having a high price point doesn't make sense anymore. You want to affect as many people as possible, because it's much easier for somebody to put down $49, take a chance and say, okay, I hear that this could be a scam. It could be working. I don't really know, but let me take a chance and put down some money. Now, if the price point was maybe $99, 150, 200, that makes it much more difficult for the average person to take that chance and give it a go. Because from a retention basis, we've noticed that once people come in and spend at least a month or two within the campus, they tend to become lifelong members, because they've then seen the value that comes from the campuses, the value that comes from the professors and the captains. And I think that that price point has to be as low as possible for as long as possible, to just get people that don't have access to significant amounts of money, like myself as well. I had a day job before joining, but maybe I spent 4 to 5 months thinking about it, contemplating it. Is this a good idea? Am I going to get value for money? Is it going to be a waste of my time? And myself as well. I wasted a few months, and in that few months, who knows what I could have achieved or learned, or the relationships and bonds I could have made with people. But that price point is exceptional, and I think that's the main reason why it's been such a success, because it allows the barrier for entry to be as low as possible to get people in. And then once they see the value that they can get, they tend to never leave ever again.
All right. A very thought out and structured answer. Thank you for that, Dhiresh. And I like that. So for yourself now, since you're on this trajectory and you have access to everything within the real world, where do you see your life heading in the short term, medium term, and long term?
In the short term, I would actually love to be employed by the real world directly. For the last year and a half or so, I've been sort of working as a volunteer, 100% as a volunteer, not really asking for anything, not really asking for too much of time from the professors, etc. I would love nothing more than to be actually taken on into the team and sort of employed, because I love doing this. It may seem seem silly that you give up the ability to make a lot of money and sort of start your own business and maybe even teach the same skill sets that the real world's teaching. But that doesn't interest me anymore. I don't even want to make a lot of money right now. I want to see people changing. I want to be able to change people's lives, because I know that I can make money within the right market environments, within enough time. As long as I am okay, I can make money. But it's very difficult for a human being to find a place where they can actually change the lives of others, where they can actually make a meaningful impact on the world. And that's where I want to be, whether it's through speaking to the camera, whether it's giving lessons, whether it's just helping people in my normal life, whether it's doing charity, whatever it may be. All I want to do now is just help, help, help. And I think the Tate's message runs very strong with me, especially after the recent issues that they've been having with the Romanian government and all of that stuff. I've become beholden to the actual the movement, if you want to call it a movement, where as a slightly older guy, being in my 30s, I see much younger guys in their teens, in the early 20s, coming into the campuses, coming into the chat rooms, and saying stuff and doing stuff that I don't really think is the best for them. And I really enjoy helping them and using my experiences, both positive and negative, to help them elevate themselves and not make the same mistakes, help them improve, help them become people that can help people down the line. Because when I first joined the Hustles University at the time, I had some help given to me by one of the apprentices, and that was a sort of changing point in my life. That was around the time when my mom had passed away, and I was going through a lot of difficulties. And the assistance that was given to me by this one individual gave me such a feeling of like fire in my blood that I dedicated myself to becoming a captain myself and taking that man's place and becoming him when he no longer had the time to help people because I won't mention his name, but the guy that actually helped me when I first started is now a fund manager managing hundreds of millions of dollars, I think, if I'm not mistaken. So he's doing very, very good things, very big things. And I have actually taken over his place in terms of his captain's role. And to an extent, hopefully, I can have that same impact on other people where I have. It's actually happening now. Some of the other captains that I've joined after the fact come to me for advice and to ask questions on how they should approach certain situations and how they should talk to students or how they should answer a certain question. And that has given me such a warm feeling of helping people and like making a real impact that that's just what I want to do. I don't know how it's going to happen or how it's going to manifest itself, but that's what I want to do. I want to help people become better and help them make other people better down the line and see where that goes.
Yeah. Very noble of you, Dhiresh. That's very cool to hear. And I guess to wrap up now, for the people who are still unsure about joining the real world, because maybe they think it could be a scam for the $50, what advice would you have to them?
Well, that'll be a very simple one. You could go out on a dinner date, could go out with your friends to the club, you could go have some beers, some drinks, spend some money on some clothes, and that's $50 gone. You will never see that money return anything in terms of investment. You will never see that money ever again. Essentially, it's gone. But why not take the chance and put that $50 into a proven educational platform? Maybe a year ago you heard of it and you're like, I don't really know what this is. I don't really know if it's a scam or if it's just selling me a product just for the sake of it. But now, a year later, after having 200 plus testimonials, after having people like myself who have not only come up from the level of a student to a captain and being mentored by the professors and being taught on a daily basis and considering him a friend, essentially, I don't see how people cannot see the value. Even if you just come in for a month, test the waters, see what the campus is about, see what the lectures and the course materials about, see what the professors have to offer. Just take a chance. 1 month, 1 month, $49. It's not that much of money. It's really not that much of money in terms of what you may be spending your money on. So I see no reason why people should not take that chance, jump in, uh, and how do I put this in a succinct way? The $49 that you put in once off could end up changing your life and putting you on a path that you would have never expected, a path that you could have never planned on, a path that not only will make you proud as an individual of yourself, but will make your family proud, your ancestors proud. I've just recently created a family trust, and that's something that makes me very proud, knowing that even in the likelihood of me passing away or me not being able to help my family, they have a trust that will be there to take care of them, that'll be there to take care of all the assets and help whoever, whether it's my kids, whether it's my sister or my dad, whoever it may be that's left in my family. it's something that's so meaningful, but it's not like a dollar amount. It's not something that I can say, hey guys, look at this. This is $10,000 worth of something or whatever. But a family trust, like I've grown up watching movies where you'll see a little kid getting a call, hey, you need to come into the lawyer's office and sign some paperwork because you have something coming your way. I'm now that person. Somebody in my family will receive a call and will get get summoned to a lawyer's office and will have to sign on a piece of paper and will inherit a whole bunch of assets for nothing. And it's things like that that I feel that people don't really understand. Yes, you coming into Hustlers University, the real world, to learn some skills, to get some courses done, to start a business, but you don't see what happens beyond that. You don't see the friends that you meet. You don't see the bonds you make with very influential people. Like now, I have multi-millionaires in my phone that I can talk to at any moment in time, that I can DM or I can send a voice note. That would have never happened to me ever in my life, being from a third world country, just being a normal sort of engineer. So people need to get past the stumbling block of $50 to get in. That's not important. Throw away that mindset. It's not about the money. It's about the skill sets. It's about the relationships. It's about how you will evolve as a person, and you will become something that you never thought you were before, or thought that you never would become. And that's where the value is. That's where I believe the true value is. You become a different person. Like I've personally become a different man in the last year or so. And I can see this happening with every single person that stays in the real world for long enough. We have female students, we have male students, we have kids, we have old men, we have people that are close to retirement. And every single one of these people, I see them evolve. I see them change the way they speak. I see them change the way that they may invest their money, or the way that they may approach businesses, or they may approach relationships in their lives. It's so much more than just courses and lessons and quizzes and that kind of stuff. It's you becoming a different person.
Wow. What an insightful answer. Okay, so yeah, I can end there, Dhiresh. Thank you for that. If people want to find out more about your contact you, where can they do so?
You can find me on Twitter. My link will be sort of posted with the video. But more importantly, find me in the real world. I go by the name of Uncivil within the real world. Jump into the campuses, jump into any of the crypto campuses, tag me specifically, ask me questions, dig my brain. That's where you'll find me. I don't want you to come to my personal social media. Join the real world, join the campuses, learn from the best people in the market at the moment, period. Learn from people like myself and other captains and other apprentices who have come from nobody. We've come from normal students just like everybody else. And we've been elevated and we've been taught and mentored to teach other people now and to bring other people up to this level as well. So if there's anything that I can ask the viewers to do, or anything that I can personally request from them, is come in, take a chance. If you aren't a member of the real world, take a chance. Put in that $49, try it out for 1 month. It's just a few cups of coffee. It's a few items of clothing. It's a few lunches out with your friends. It's a few beers out with the boys at night. It's not that much of money for the potential of completely changing your world 180, flipping it upside down, and becoming something that you could have never been without it, or something that would have taken you many, many, many years and through many, many mistakes and a lot of wasted money and a lot of wasted time to get to this point. So my final closing request would be, take a chance, join us in the real world, join us in the investing trading campus, the NFT and DeFi campus, or even any of the other campuses. Just come in, and I can guarantee you 100% that you wouldn't leave, you wouldn't want to leave. And if you were to leave, you would feel hollow because you wouldn't have that sense of community. You wouldn't have that sense of somebody always having your back, whether it's a professor, a captain, an apprentice, a student, anybody. It'll never be matched. And I humbly ask people, take a chance, join, and I'll see you on the inside.
All right. Okay, so thank you, Dhiresh. Thank you for all those
Thank you, my friend.
insights. Thank you for going
Thank
so
you, my
into
friend.
depth into the answers as well. That was a lot of gems dropped. And I look forward to doing a follow-up with you in
Of course, there's going to be
hopefully
a
less
follow-up
time
and
this
a
time, 7 months. Pardon?
yeah, of course, there's going to be a follow-up, a third and a fourth and a fifth, and we're going to
All right.
continue this journey together from strength to strength.
Okay, so yeah. Until next time, I wish you all the best, Dhiresh.
Goodbye, my friend. Take care.